Hello, dolls. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream. Today, we are going to be talking about why hustle culture is toxic and damaging, why it's also known as toxic productivity. So, if that interests you, make sure you stay tuned. Go ahead and skip ahead if you're watching the replay to about the 5 or 6 minute mark because I am going to run through some announcements and then we're going to dive in. But if you don't mind listening, then that is perfectly okay too. First and foremost, before I dive in, please make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button. If you watch more than one video of mine and you've enjoyed it, heck, even if you watch one video and you liked it, subscribe. It's free to show love. Hit like, hit share, comment, let me know your thoughts. All those things are free and they help me a ton. Also, if you are someone who wants to use your gifts, your talents, like your natural inclinations and skills to earn a side income, or to start a side business or whatever, like you just want to get some extra money in, or maybe even turn it into a full-time business, then go ahead and click the link in the description box to book a creative consultation call with me. I've helped people amp up and make their YouTube channels more cohesive. I've helped them start their production companies for music, engineering companies. I've helped them start their mom communities and mom groups and makeup and lifestyle groups. I've helped them start coaching and consulting. Like I've literally done the whole gamut. So make sure you click that down below. Hey, Michelle, it's not going to hurt you at all to learn, because in this economy, unfortunately, and we're going to talk about that today, you need multiple streams of income. Also, if you would like to join the newsletter, it's free. It goes out on the 1st and 15th of every month. It's like our one-on-one conversation. And pretty soon I'm going to be hosting events in the coming months and such. So you want to be on the newsletter, because everyone on the newsletter is going to get discounts. They're going to get perks. They're going to get all that good stuff. So make sure you join that. And last but not least, make sure, like I said, that you're just subscribed to the channel. Majority of you guys watch my videos a lot and you share, but you're not subscribed. So join the Del Doll fam. I would really, really appreciate it. And it's free. And also, if you would like to just support me on a general basis, just on a monthly general basis, then consider joining the channel. You can see the join button down below, or you could also give a super thanks, which is a heart with a $sign in the middle of it. So that's that. How are you guys doing? It is extremely hot here in Atlanta. It is 100, like just about 100 degrees today, and it's crazy. Like I was out grocery shopping and I was melting. Okay, like it is too hot, way, way, way too hot. So I'm gonna do a little Uber Eats after this live stream, but by then the sun will be down. It's already starting to go down, so yeah, we should be good with that. But other than that, I'm glad to be here. And like I said, we're gonna talk about hustle culture. This is something I wanted to talk about for a while, but because I had so many like collabs and features on my channel, I was like, okay, we gotta push this back. So it's really interesting, and also all the resources for what I'm talking about today are in the description box down below too. It's under, I think, research sources or something. You should see all the links to the articles I'm referencing. I'm good. I started therapy today and I got yes. It is hot. Yeah, it is very hot, very, very hot. And congrats on starting therapy. My insurance just released like teletherapy, so I think I'm just gonna go that route, because other than that, it's really hard to find a therapist that takes my insurance that I feel comfortable talking to, and that's also within my locality. So I think I'm just gonna go the teletherapy route. But yes, come on, therapy. It's very, very helpful. So Georgia's heat today was disrespectful and suffocating. I know, right? It's way too hot, like way, way, way too hot. It don't make any sense. The last few days have been like just a blanket of heat, like just like, I can't even breathe. I can't think straight. Like, don't talk to me. Oh my God. I was trying to decipher. I was like, wait, I don't know. I don't quite know what's being said, but it's okay. We're going to press forward. We're going to keep going. So that is all good. It is all good. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into the topic. And as people come in, they come in, because I know YouTube be letting people know late. And, Tuesdays I start earlier. So anyways, the main point for today, even if you're catching the replay, you're like, okay, I'm going to have to come back and watch, is that hustle culture is a toxic ideology that's rooted in anxiety, discontentment, and self-reliance. And it eventually leads to burnout and frustration. So I do want to read the hustle culture definition to you guys, even though there's no like Webster dictionary, definition. This is the best one I could find. It's the mentality that one must work all day, every day in pursuit of their professional goals, which includes business goals too. And it's also known as burnout culture or grind culture. So it's this ideology of like, the more you work, the more you'll be successful. Work, 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 and you'll eventually get the dream life that you want and accomplish your goals. Literally, I clicked to notified and YouTube didn't notify me. That is so crazy. Like, YouTube is terrible when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, and you're not the first person that I said that has said that. Like a lot of people have said, like, oh yeah, I have my notifications on, like, hit the bell for notifications, and they don't even get it, or it tells them really late. Like, it's just terrible. The no sleep stuff. Okay, I don't get tired. I could sleep when I'm dead. Like that that kind of mindset. And so I have three main points, or I think it's four actually main points that I want to dive into. But like I said, if you got to go, that's the main point. It's toxic. And it's a lie. It's rooted in anxiety, discontentment, and self-reliance, and it's going to lead to burnout. So the first point that I want to break down is that hustle culture lessens your quality of life by feeding you the lie that you will have a better quality of life if you just keep working hard. So the whole basis of hustle culture is to work, work, work. Like, again, like I said, the more you work, the more successful you'll be. You can sleep later, you can have fun later. There's more work to be done. And it glorifies, like we said, not sleeping, being overworked, and essentially paints the picture that overworking means you are generally more serious about life and your goals, and you're more destined for success. And while we can agree that success, whatever that is, because that's a very blanket term, like success looks different for everybody, but I think what, generally speaking, the world will consider to be success, like having a certain amount of money in the bank, having a certain house, certain cars, being able to take certain vacations, wear certain clothes, like, that's what, when you say success, what I believe majority of people will picture one, if not most of those things when they think of success. And so, to achieve those things, yes, we can say that hard work does need to be in the picture, but not to a point where you literally are centering your life around work. So there has to be a balance there, and that's the balance that hustle culture does not give us. And honestly, too, working hard doesn't always mean that you're going to be successful. I know a lot of people that work hard and are more broke than me. I know a lot of people that, very hardworking, but not strategic with their money, not smart in how they work, whatever the case may be. So it's not a linear like cause and effect. There's many things that go into play here. So according to an article by monster.com, hustle culture has become extremely prominent since the early 2000s, especially as we've had a couple of recessions or economic downturn and turmoil. And it's all of these things have taken a toll on our cost of living, our salaries, and more. And so as a result, millennials, which I'm a millennial, and majority of you guys that watch my channel are millennials, but millennials and younger generations have felt the need to supplement their jobs with a side income, a side business of sorts, a side gig, whatever the case may be. And so this is also around the same time, when you look at it, that entrepreneurship as a whole started to be glorified, and working a 9 to 5 started to be looked down upon. So it's like you have this increase of people starting businesses or getting second jobs or whatever the case may be, because they have to, like, they really don't have a choice. But then at the same time, like, there's this buzz going on because people are seeing success in entrepreneurship. And so it's like, well, if you work a 9 to 5, you're not ambitious, and so on and so forth. But that's another conversation for another day. The whole, like, glorification of entrepreneurship, when in reality, not everyone's meant to be a business owner, and that's completely okay. So Go Bacon Rates did a research study on the 50 major metropolises in the US. So the 50 main metropolitan areas in the US, they looked at it and they compared the median income with the income that's needed in each metropolis to own a home and rent comfortably. So not like you own a home and you're struggling to pay your mortgage and your bills, or you're renting a place and you're struggling, but like, what do you need to make to comfortably live, be able to pay your bills, stay on top of your game? And this is assuming, of course, that you don't have like a ton of debt or, anything like that. Like, they were just looking on average, like average amount of debt, average cost of living, average salaries, all that kind of stuff. And so when I looked at it, which, like I said, all these articles and everything are linked down below. When I looked at it, all of the metropolises except for 5, the average income was astronomically less than what you need to rent or own a home. Like, I'm talking thousands and thousands of dollars, some as low as 50%. So let's say like you need to make $100,000 a year to live comfortably in that area. Some were like the salary is $50,000, but you need to make $100,000 to live comfortably. So you're living at 50% of what you really should have. And in the, I think it's in the finance world, or budgeting or whatever. I don't know. If you're in finance or budgeting, let me know whichever industry it's more prevalent in. But there's like this calculation or like rule of thumb of how your income should be split. So basically, they say you should be able to live on 50% of your income. You should, I think, save 30%, and invest 20% or something like that, or you save 20 and invest 30. It's one of the two, but you should be able to live on 50% of your income. That's kind of a rule of thumb. But when you look at these things, like, you're not able to do that in this day and age. Like, nobody, no major metropolis is paying you enough to survive. And these are areas where the pay is going to be higher than if you're in a small town. So if you're not getting paid enough in a major city or major metropolitan area, you're definitely not getting paid enough in smaller areas and smaller metropolitan areas, you know? And so, like I said, 45 out of the 50, yeah, the 50-30-20 rule. Yep, that's what it is. And so, you know, 5 out of the 50 were the only ones that actually are paying you enough to be able to live comfortably, either renting or buying. Because some of them, it's you know, one or the other. Like, it's actually more affordable to rent than to buy. Others, it's actually more affordable to buy than to rent. And so when I saw that, that alone was a jaw dropper. But then even when you look at the 5, I'm gonna look this up too. Yeah, the link to the article is down below under the research sources. But even out of the 5, 3 out of them were the only ones that pay you upwards of $5,000 over what you need to make to live comfortably. So let's say you need to make $100,000 to live comfortably. The average income is $105,000 a year or more in those 3 cities. But the other 2 out of the 5 are under that $5,000 threshold. So if you need to make $100,000 to live comfortably, then they're paying you like $102,000 or $103,000. So you're barely over what you need to live comfortably. And again, this is on average debt and everything. So you might have more debt, you might have more responsibilities in your family, whatever the case may be. And so when you look at it, before I get to that point, Gold Bank and Rates also did a research study in 2019, I think it was, that found that 25% of Americans have to have a side gig in addition to their day job just to be able to pay their bills. And 10% work that side gig 15 to 20 hours a week. And 46% of that 25% said, like I said, they need the side gig to pay their basic expenses. 25% of that 25% that have a side gig use a side gig to save for a specific goal. And then 24% of that 25% that have a side gig use the side gig to pay off debts and loans. So these numbers show us in a nutshell that Americans have to hustle. Like, it's not even that hustle culture is just something that we glorify just for laughs and giggles and just for fun. It's like, we have to hustle. Like, this life, this economy here is a far cry from the American dream. And a lot of us never had access to the American dream. I mean, let's be honest. When you look at disenfranchisement, when you look at marginalization, like, we can get down the rabbit hole on this, but, you know, Americans, many by and large, hustle out of necessity, although there are some that do it for fun or to stay busy. So, you know, while a healthy dose of hard work and dedication can very well lead you to living your dream life and success and all that, whatever that looks like for you, pushing yourself to work harder and harder alone is not enough. There are other factors at play that determine how far you can physically and financially stretch yourself. Because the reality is, like I said, you can be working hard, but you're never going to achieve that goal if certain things don't give and certain factors are out of your control, like the economy. Right now, you can work as hard as you want. And I'm not going to say you're not going to accomplish your goals, because, you know, some folks will have a tizzy and be like, no, don't speak that. But I'm just saying, like, let's be realistic. Let's not bury our heads in the sand. And honestly, to me, hearing that is a little bit hopeful, because it's like, okay, there's not something wrong with me. Because the thing with hustle culture too is that it is a breeding ground for comparison. So you see, we're all working hard. We're all, you know, we all got different cards that life has dealt us or whatever. We're all working hard. We're all grinding. And then you look over to your left and your right, and you're like, dang, like, I'm working just as hard, if not harder than them. How come they making it? You know, and let's say you are actually like trying to be strategic. I'm not talking about those people that just work hard but have like no goals, no dreams, no ambition, like, not that. I'm talking like, you are working hard, you have your goals, you know, you're trying to strategize, you're trying to, you know, stretch that dollar to the best of your ability and be wise. But you're like, dang, like, I'm working hard, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And how come I'm not reaching my goals as fast as that person? But when in reality, it's like, well, one, you don't know what that person has on their plate. Two, it's refreshing and alleviating to know that it's not all up to me. You know, like, there honestly are some factors out of my control. So if I'm not accomplishing a goal as fast in 2022 as I did in 2018, I need to give myself some grace, because we have different economic obstacles and factors ahead of us. And of course, we can surpass those things, but that's one of my last points that I'm gonna dive into. I know in Atlanta is a million to live comfortably because everything here is high. I was like pushing 100K when you look at it, because the average salary here, the median income is like 55K or something like that. And to live comfortably owning a home, I think it was just about 90K. And to live comfortably renting, you have to make about 80K or something like that. And this is with low debt, okay? Yeah, and low responsibilities, like, and a single person. This is not for families, I don't think. I think they did it based on a single person. Excuse me. So if you have a family, that's like double, triple what you need if you want to have access to certain things and have a certain quality of life. So that's point number one. Point number two is hustle culture is a breeding ground for discontentment. So I already said it's a breeding ground for comparison, which I didn't really have to really dive too deep into that because we know that. But it also is a breeding ground for discontentment, which is a cause of comparison. If you're always looking around you and comparing, trust me, you're going to be discontented with your life because there's always more to be had. But around the same time that hustle culture became popular, the era of the social media influencer also began. And this is significant to note because the era of the social media influencer, which we're still in, by the way, like now we're in, like, I would say wave two of it or so. But when that era started coming to life and started becoming a thing, it introduced the vivid imagery to us of what success is supposed to look like. And that we're often comparing ourselves to, or at least striving for, or attempting to emulate. So the lavish Instagram, and I'm saying Instagram, but just picture whatever, like Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, whatever. But I'm saying Instagram because most of us know that Instagram is very annoying, 9 times out of 10. That's why people are jumping ship left and right off of Instagram. But again, another story for another day. But the lavish Instagram worthy vacations, the designer outfits, the houses, the cars, just the lifestyle, like literally a vibe. Like we all know what those influencer accounts look like. Like everything is pristine, it's perfect, like not a hair out of place, outfit always on fleek, house great, family stellar, not a care in the world, no issues whatsoever. And even in this day and age, like I said, right now, it's like it's easy for you to beat yourself up and be like, damn, like how come I don't have that? And it's like, hello, wake up and smell the coffee. Like we are in an economic downturn that is making us be between a rock and a rock and a hard place. Like we are literally fighting hell and high water right now. Majority of Americans to survive. Like if we're being honest with ourselves, like many of us are not over here just balling out and living on high off the hog, So many of us are struggling to just buy groceries. Many of us are struggling to put gas in the car. Many of us are struggling just to pay utilities and do things like that. It's not realistic at all, Michelle. Not at all realistic. And it's like some people got it like that, great for them. But we have to always do a reality check and smell the coffee and realize majority of us are in the same boat. We might not all be on the same level of the same boat, because everyone's level of struggle looks different, but we all on the same boat. Majority of us are at least on the same boat. Okay. So it don't make a difference. It's like, it didn't matter what floor you were on the Titanic, you were going down, period. So it's just like, that's kind of what it's like. It's like, yeah, you might be in first class on the ship. I might be in the bottom level, but we all on the same ship. We are paycheck to paycheck over here, praying and trying hard to change that. Exactly. And I think the thing about that is that one, realizing, which I know you do, but I'm just saying in general, if anybody's watching this and they're like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I'm still paycheck to paycheck, give yourself grace, because as you can see, you're not the only one. A lot of us, majority of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. Some of us might just have more credit cards and more savings in the back end to help us out, but we are literally one, maybe 2 or 3 paychecks away from the worst happening, and I've been homeless, so I know what that's like. And I know some of my viewers have unfortunately experienced that too. It's not as far-fetched for a lot of people as we would like to think. And so the era of the social media influencer, like I said, created this imagery of what success is supposed to look like. And many of us try to either compare ourselves to it, emulate it, strive for it, whatever the case may be. That lavish IG life that many of us are just like, oh my gosh, this is not realistic. What's wrong with me? And the reason why it's important to note this as well is because it paints a picture of the dream life, like I said, that many have not achieved at the moment and are not in the position to achieve at the moment. Again, I'm not saying you're never going to have it. Don't come for my neck. I'm just saying, like, right now, you're not in the position to achieve it because of what you're up against or what you're trying to clear up or whatever. And that is okay. Like, nothing is wrong with that. It is okay to accept the reality and say, okay, this is where I'm at. Doesn't mean I'm going to be here till the day that I pass on. No, but this is where I'm at today. And this is this is a plan to get out of it. But I'm also not going to kill myself in the process trying to get out of it. Like that's what hustle culture will say. Hustle culture will be like, well, this is where your life is today. So you need to work, grind, not sleep, not relax, not do anything until you get out of that situation. And yeah, you might work yourself out of it, but then you're also going to work yourself into high blood pressure, being at risk for a stroke or a heart attack, sleep deprivation, just being like a complete hot mess. And so, it's portraying the results of hard work, but to the masses. But a lot of the masses are already engaged in hard work. And so, in other words, if you just work harder and stay consistent, this is the messaging of hustle culture and the social media influencer. If you just work hard and stay consistent, one day you will achieve this lavish life that you see us living. And if you haven't achieved it yet, then you need to work even harder. But it's like I said earlier, the image of the American dream that many of us have realized is a mirage. Like that literally is the new version of the American dream. Get a job, work hard, get a side hustle, because at this point most of us need it. Get a side hustle or two or three, stay consistent, keep showing up, keep working hard, and one day you'll have that lavish life. When in reality, this system and this economy is not set up for majority of people to ever achieve that. But they wave that carrot in front of you, or you're in the desert thirsty and you need a drink of water, and they wave that cup of water in front of you, and you reach out to grab it and you realize it was never there to begin with. Because again, there are certain systems and things at play set up for you to never achieve a certain level of success. Majority of people, majority. It's so much pressure, like unnecessary amounts of pressure, And so once you're on the hustle hamster wheel, you get addicted to striving for more and more and more until you just hustle yourself out of rest, out of good health, and out of peace of mind. And even if you achieve the IG worthy lifestyle, now you're so used to working extremely hard that you feel like you're worthless if you aren't working hard towards a goal or chasing a goal. That lifestyle is not attainable for everyone. Right. Let's be honest. Like, let's be honest. Hey, Layla. Hello, sis. I hope it's not as hot in Toronto as it is down here in Atlanta, because it's 100 degrees today. So hopefully y'all don't hear the fan in the background. And don't get me started. Don't get me started with God's will. Sometimes those lifestyles aren't even what God really has. Come on now. Come on. But people don't want to hear that. See, when I say stuff like that, it's like, no, you're speaking yourself out of your blessings, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And I'm like, yeah, but let's be realistic, like honestly. And it's okay. Like, it's not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing. I'm not saying like, just be comfortable being in debt or whatever, but it is not a bad thing if you never end up being a multimillionaire. Like, it's okay. Like, if you never own a mansion, life can still be good. Like, you're okay. Breathe, relax. Like, and it's like, to me, it's better to be realistic and have a realistic and knowledgeable strategy, exercise your faith and all that, of course, too. But it doesn't make sense to bury your head in the sand, because you got to know what you're up against. You got to know what you're dealing with. And that way, like I said, for me, at least, it's relieving to know that it's not all my fault. Like, I'm not working hard and it's all for naught. Like, there are factors at play right now that keep me in the position that I'm in, or make it harder, at least, for me to get past a certain obstacles. So life can still be good. Like folks be bugging out. They be bugging out. So it's just like I said, once you get on the hustle hamster wheel, you feel bad if you're not hustling. You feel bad if you're not chasing a goal. Like, you could have met all your goals. And I used to be like this too. And I still low key am. Like, I'm learning how to have balance and not attach my worth in my sense of self-worth to how hard I work or what I achieve as a result of my hard work, because that is a side effect of hustle culture too, that, you work so hard, you achieve so much, as they say you will, the harder you work, which we know, like we covered in point one, that's not always the case. Okay. Because a lot of us are working hard out of necessity just to keep our heads above water in the US. I can't speak for other countries. By the way, these are all US numbers that I'm talking about in this video. If you're catching the replay, I can't really research other countries because I don't quite know how all their economies work. But you guys feel free to comment if you're in another country watching this, and let me know, like, is the economy as bad where y'all at as it is in the US? Is life as hard where you're at as it is in the US? Because right now it is quite ghetto here. It is tough. And I understand why a lot of people are leaving the US and doing that expat life. I mean, that's something me and my family always considered because, I'm first generation American. I got resources and stuff in other countries. It's only a matter of time before I'm hightailing it out of here too. But at the same time, I can understand why people are like, let me explore my options elsewhere. So I know some countries are better, but I just don't know every country. So just know that these are US examples that I'm giving if you're watching the replay. I just wanted to say that because I have viewers everywhere. But yeah, I'm learning struggle bus. Okay. It's a ghetto over here. And so I'm learning how to manage my sense of self-worth. And I've come a long way because when I was in the federal government working and I was at my prime, I was making a lot of money. I was hustling, hustling, hustling. I had some side businesses and stuff. Like I was really out here crushing it, like I was a success story of hustle culture. But I had no life. I was very extremely morbidly obese. I had high blood sugar. I was really struggling with anxiety at that point. Like I was having anxiety attacks often. I was having depressive episodes. But from the outside looking in, I had the life. I had the money, the vacations, the house, the cars, the clothes. Like I could basically do what I wanted and didn't have to worry. But I was miserable. But from the outside, like I said, I was a hustle culture success story. I was one of those stories that people say, well, she worked hard and look at what she achieved by the age of 26 or whatever. And my sense of self-worth, when I realized when I lost all of those things or I gave them up, I didn't lose it all. Some of it I gave up voluntarily because I decided to move back home to help my mom take care of my dad when he was like really, really close to passing away. He got really sick and almost died in the hospital and stuff. That's a whole nother story. Maybe I'll do a story time on that or something. But nevertheless, it was really draining on my mom and it was really draining on me to have to manage like basically two households and driving hours between each every day and stuff. And I decided to give up a lot. And then some things, in the process I lost or whatever. But I also lost my sense of self-worth when I immediately shifted out of that hustle culture lifestyle and I started transitioning to being self-employed, which some people will say, well, if you're self-employed, you're still hustling. But I think there's different layers and levels to hustle culture. Like I was in the corporate America hustle. The self-employment hustle for me is more balanced because now I have maybe because I have more on my plate now. I'm a mom. I don't know, but it all has worked out for the greater good. Like I'm not grinding as hard as I was in corporate America, and I'm more gracious towards myself. I really think a lot of it has to do with motherhood because having a child, for me at least, this isn't for everybody, but for me, it definitely shifted my priorities. And it's like, okay, like I'm not about to bend over backwards doing this, doing that. And now, I'm my mom's main caregiver and stuff. So there's different things I play where I'm like, this is more important, like the money's going to come, praise God, all that. But I'm not about to like go out here and just like kill myself trying to earn a dollar. Like that doesn't make any sense. But hustle culture, like I said, once you're on the hamster wheel, you get addicted to working hard and you feel like your self-worth is tied to working hard and achievements and stuff. So then when you're not working hard or you don't have a goal or you accomplish all your goals like I had done or a lot of people I know, now you're sitting there confused, twiddling your thumbs like, well, what do I do now? Like you can't even really enjoy the fruits of your labor because you get to the goal and you're like, well, I got to be doing something else. Like I can't just enjoy life and coast into the sunset. Now I got to be working towards something else. Now I got to have a new project. Now I got to have a new goal. Now I need to conquer a new obstacle because if I'm just sitting here, I'm lazy, I'm not ambitious, I'm not worth something, I'm not adding value to the world. And it's like, but the whole point of hustle culture, or at least how they portray it, is to work hard to get to your goals so that you can relax. But that's what I'm saying, or I said in the first point, it's a lie because it's like you never relax. Like by that point, it's too late. You're too addicted to the hustle. You're too addicted to the hard work. You get a high off of like achieving goals. It's like, what is it? Like, it's like people that are used to works-based love, performance-based love. That's what I think what it's called or whatever. But it's like they don't feel like they're worthy of. Oh, no problem, Michelle. I'm glad you're still here. It's like they don't feel like they're worthy of love unless they're doing something to earn it. It's kind of like that. It's like by now it's too late. You feel like you gotta, you gotta basically be doing something or working towards a goal to be adding value or whatever the case may be. So it's like, where do you draw the line for your own sake and for your health and stuff like that? Like, when does it end? Where do you draw the line? The third point is hustle culture is rooted in faster gratification. So hustle culture leaves no room for taking the long way around. It leaves no room for taking the scenic route to a goal, And again, well, we everything isn't linear first and foremost. So hustle culture assumes that everything in life is linear. If you do this, this will be the result. If A, then B. But sometimes it's A, then C, then B, then you come back around to A. Hey Alexis, hey sis, I'm glad you're here. And then you go to F, and then you come back to E. It's not always like a methodological, that I always struggle with that word, approach to just A, then B, then C, and everything is just coasting along perfectly fine. But hustle culture gives you that basically ideology of like, yeah, like once I do A, I'll get B and there'll be no problems. And it assumes that everything in life is linear, and it should be achieved fairly fast, or at least in that methodological way. But not hustle culture, but in reality, some goals honestly are better to take the scenic route, because there are things that you need to learn along the way of the scenic route. There are things you need to learn when you fall and stumble. There are lessons to be had in those moments and things like that. And so also in reality, you can work hard all you want, but some goals are literally just going to take you years and years to accomplish. And so you're burning yourself out in the process when you were meant to accomplish that goal in year 5 or 6 or 7, not in year one. So it's like, breathe a little bit. Like, it's okay. It doesn't mean that you didn't work hard enough, or you're a failure. It's just not a goal that's meant to be achieved in this short amount of time. And again, like I mentioned in point two, the era of the social media influencer has really aided in that too, of that like faster and instant gratification, because again, we see people and they seem like an overnight success or sensation. Like, they were here today, by next week they're this big social media influencer, by the end of the first month they're living this lavish dream life and sailing on yachts and flying private jets and stuff. And you're just like, dang, like what's going on with me? How come I'm not achieving this fast? Like, what's going on? And so it really makes you question yourself and your worth and things like that. But that also brings to light the fact that social media makes everything seem overnight. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Michelle. This is good for me because I've been getting so frustrated with my YouTube. Me too, sis. And congrats on 200 subs. I was like, yes, get it, sis. But congrats. That's a big thing to celebrate. And yeah, it really does make you feel some type of way, because you're like, dang, like, this person literally just started. Like, I know people that, for instance, on YouTube, like you said, start YouTube, and 6 months from now, they have 1K subs. And then in a year, they reach like 50K. And you're like, dang, like, and they literally are not doing anything like extraordinary. No shade. It's just like, you look at their videos and you're just like, okay, I don't see any editing that's more extravagant than mine. I don't see, hey, Yasmin, glad you could jump in, sis. I don't see any topics that are world and groundbreaking. Like, what is going on? But it's like, that was their portion, not yours. Like, some goals are just gonna take a while. Like, there's lessons to be learned, there's things to happen or whatnot. Wait, whose birthday was it? Was it your birthday, Alexis? It's okay, sis. I've had God humble me too, as far as being grateful. Happy belated birthday if it was your birthday, Alexis. I don't know if I wish you happy birthday already, but either way, happy belated. If I didn't. But I also saw this interview with Gary Vee recently, where, because I've been binge watching his channel lately. Like, I've watched his channel and stuff before, and I kind of fall off. And now I'm like right back on a Gary Vee binge. And he had this interview that he did a couple months ago, but I watched it recently, and he was like, he said something that was very profound to me. And it was like, we all have more time than we think. And I was like, yo, such a simple statement, but so profound. Like, we all have more time than we think. And again, balance. So I'm not saying just be like, oh, there's always tomorrow, I always could do it next week. Like, there should be a balance of like, don't procrastinate, don't put off things that can be done today for tomorrow. But everything doesn't need to be figured out and done today. Like, I think a lot of times, again, we have our timelines and we're like, it has to be done by in a year. I have to have this and this by the time I'm 30. By the time I'm 35, this needs to happen, this and that. And it's like, you, like, honestly, let's say we're all blessed to live to see 100. I'm only 33, about to be 34. That gives me 66 years to accomplish things, and Lord, please let me see that age. That would be amazing. But it's like, I have 66 years if that's the case, and none of us know the day or the hour, but you shouldn't be living in fear. Like, if your hustle is driven by fear of like, oh, I might not live to see tomorrow, this and that, like, that's a problem in and of itself. And I feel like hustle culture can kind of lead to that. But if you're procrastinating, thinking like, I always have tomorrow, I'm going to have this long, healthy life, then that's the other extreme. Because again, you don't know the day or the hour. But whatever you do should never be rooted in fear. It should never be rooted in arrogance that, you're going to get everything that you want in and live this healthy long life or whatever the case may be, because ultimately God is the judge of that. Like he's the one to decide that. So, but it should never be rooted in fear or arrogance or anything like that. Their portion, okay? Like we all have a journey to take. And all of us in this chat have been taking the long way around. All of us are some further along than others, but we all have taken, like everyone that I associate with has taken a long route. And I think that that's very comforting for me because I'm like, okay, so-and-so has been doing this for 5 years. So-and-so has been doing this for 3 years. So-and-so, I'm a little bit ahead of them or whatever, but none of us have had overnight success. And I talk to you guys on a regular, so I know the work that you're putting in. Like, so it makes you appreciate it more. I'm like, God, I've been doing YouTube for over 2 years and only have 200 subs. But you are preaching, okay? And your day is definitely going to come. There's this guy that I watch who does like dating videos. Sid Farrell is his name. And he literally is in the middle of a whirlwind success right now. Like, I don't know how long he's been doing YouTube, but I know when I first found him, he had like 4 or 5K. Now he's approaching 20K. Like, I literally looked up and he just got pushed out, and it's like boom, 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 boom. Like he's growing so fast now. And I know he's been doing what he's doing for a while based on his Instagram, like at least since 2017 or something. I just don't know how long he's been doing YouTube, but he was like, wow, like this is great. I'm finally growing after all these years or whatever. So, it's definitely something where it's like, okay, I gotta be patient. I gotta breathe. You're welcome, sis. Oh, you used to watch Gary Vee? I love Gary Vee for business stuff. Like he's so great. The work he started, he's going to perform. Yes, until the day of Christ. Come on now. Come on, sis. So hustle culture doesn't leave room for that. It's like you gotta get it now. Like you gotta hustle, you gotta grind, you gotta get it now. That's why I said at the beginning during the main point, it's rooted in anxiety and fear, because why do we have to hustle so hard today? Like, why? There's tomorrow. Like, Lord willing, I'm gonna make it till tomorrow. And even if heaven forbid I don't make it till tomorrow, my life is still a success. Even if I never achieved everything that was on my vision boards and my to-do list and my journals and all that, my life has still left a mark. It's still a legacy. It's still something that I will be missed, I will be remembered, and people will be able to say like, wow, like that was a blessed life, So it also like I said, hustle culture is very narrow-minded. I think it was when I was talking about the social media era and how that kind of coincided with the rise of hustle culture too. If I didn't say it now, I'm saying it now because I feel like I'm having deja vu. But either way, I'm gonna say it now. But it's like hustle culture is very narrow-minded too, where it's like if you don't achieve that certain level of success, like again, the stereotypical success, a lot of money in the bank, private jets, yachts, designer clothes, this, that, the third, then your life wasn't a success. And Michelle had stated earlier that it's like, not everyone's going to achieve that. And that is okay. Like everyone is not going to achieve that. Everybody doesn't want to achieve it. It is okay. Like success is literally to the person. God has been glorified through my life, period. Okay. Her. Like, and I got to remind myself too, because sometimes I really be like, this isn't enough, because I'm learning. Yes, Alicia, you better come in with the affirmations, but but I have to remind myself, like, I'm living in an answered prayer right now. Like, I remember the days when I used to imagine having 1,100 subscribers. Now I'm here and I'm like, I have 1,100 subscribers. Like, that's enough to fill like 2 airplanes or something like that. Or something, I don't know, child, but I know it's enough to fill enough, like a big room or something like that. So I'm just like, that's a big deal. Like I'm talking to a lot of people every week. And even when I look at my impressions, like I have 20,000, 30,000 impressions a week. Like that, I don't know how long the people are actually like looking at my video, but my video is getting in front of that many people every week. So it's like, why am I upset? Like I have left a legacy. Like even if heaven forbid it were all to end tomorrow, it's like I have a catalog of videos that everybody could look back on and be like, wow, that was it. Like that was a word, that was inspirational or whatever. Like she actually, and you guys can even see the growth just in the lifespan of my YouTube channel. So it's like, I don't need to hustle. Like, no, I'm going to reach my goals, but I'm not going to reach it in looking, broke, busted, and disgusted. That's all materials, right? All materials. It's like, come on. Like, so when he said that, I was like, dang, Gary Vee, okay, you ministering to me today. He said, we all have more time than we think. He was like, it doesn't matter if you're 21, 35, 42, 65, 72. Like, we all have a little bit more time than we think. And for some of us, a lot more time. So we don't need to have this like, I need to get it done today. Like, breathe. It's okay. What is 1 or 2 things that you could do to push your life 1% forward today? Once that's done, chill, take a nap, watch some Netflix, take a walk, read a book, you know, treat yourself to a spa day, call a friend, connect with people. Like, don't miss life just trying to achieve goals. And that's another thing hustle culture does too. It's like you're neglecting your well-being. You're neglecting the people in your life, your loved ones and friends and family, for the sake of your goals. Like, when's the last time you called a friend and literally just talked, like just chilled out on the phone, laugh until you cry till your stomach hurts? Like, when, literally, y'all, think to yourself, when's the last time I did that and I didn't have something else on my mind, or I wasn't like, okay, I gotta go, I gotta, like, when was the last time you actually did that? For me, the last time I did that was last Friday. I talked to a new acquaintance. We're becoming friends, but we had a good conversation. And I was like, wow, like, this is really good. I miss that. And then you guys know it's been kind of lonely for me down here too. But, that was a really good and needed conversation. And I hadn't done that in a while. And it struck me, when's the last time, like, you really just chilled with your friends or your kids? Let's say you got kids. When's the last time you really just chilled with them and watched a Disney movie, pop some popcorn, wasn't like worried about the next task you got to do or the next goal or what you didn't accomplish? Like, when's the last time you actually did that? It's been a while since I did that with Christian. I'm not even gonna hold you. I've been taking him to the park a lot, but I do want to take him to the movies. Because has he ever been to the movies? I don't think Christian's ever been to the movies. Nope, he's never been to the movies. Because I'm not gonna lie, y'all, we was bootlegging it for a while. Don't judge me, but but I'm gonna take him to the movies. I need to figure out what's a child-friendly movie coming out this summer, or movies coming out this summer. Because T-Mobile Tuesdays just had a deal, I think, where you get 2 movies for the price of 1 or something. So I need to do that and get my Fandango points back up. But anywho, yeah, so it's like, use your time wisely. But using your time wisely doesn't mean that you got to fill it with work every second of the day. Like, rest, get some exercise. Like, I don't know if you guys know Ronnie Brown. She's from DC, but she's like a very, very successful entrepreneur. But she's been building her businesses for like the last 20 years. She was a teen mom. She's in her like mid to late 30s now. And she's like a multiple 7-figure earner. And she has like coaching groups and life community groups for entrepreneurs and stuff. But she said that she was like, one of the most successful years of her life, like when she first started crossing the 7-figure threshold, was the unhealthiest year of her life, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember all the nitty gritty because this was a couple years ago. She did this live stream like 2 years ago or something. But she was like, she gained a ton of weight. She was stressed out. She wasn't taking care of herself. And by the time the end of the year came around, like, yeah, she had all this monetary and physical success, but her body, her temple was a hot, raggedy mess. She was like, I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror. And so the next year she started committing to like just making sure that she has balance and, hiring more staff to do some of the things that she was still doing herself, and training her kids in the business. Cause like I said, her 2 oldest ones are adults because she had them when she was a teenager. And she was like, I need to start, dispersing work and stuff. And now she's living her best soft life. She's like, I'm not doing anything beyond what I need to do for the day. And thankfully, like I said, she has systems and teams and stuff in place that her business could run on its own, even if she's gone for months at a time. But she was like, I had to be intentional with that. Like, I had to carve out time to exercise. I had to start drinking more water. I had to go to bed, turn off the laptop and go to sleep. So it's like, don't neglect your well-being. Like, I personally, for me, I'd rather take 3 years to accomplish a goal and have my mind, my body, and my soul intact than to accomplish a goal in a year. And at the end of that year, I look like who shot John and forgot to kill him. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's not it. Then people are like, that's what you got to look like and go through to get to that. Count me out. I'm good. And that's it. I don't want no parts of that. Okay. The plane, I think I feel it. Doesn't 1,100 people fill 2 planes or something? I don't know. Thing is, I'm going to heaven. Hell lost a soldier, period. Jesus' death was not wasted, period. That's literally all that matters. I'm learning and fully accepting that. Yes. So it's like, we really have to guard our hearts and minds against like the whole notion that your life was a failure or waste if you didn't achieve a certain success, if you didn't hustle your way to that success. Like, no, y'all can hustle. I'm taking me a nap. I've been starting to nap this year and I love it. Yes, they can still watch me. Okay. Like, you got 200 something videos and counting that you can go back and watch and reminisce. Like, nap me, please. Okay. YouTube is a major hustle if you let it be. That's why one of the reasons why I stopped editing, even though I am going to tape and edit a video talking about YouTube monetization for next week. But that's one of the reasons why I had to say, let me just start going live, because my lifestyle right now and everything on my plate doesn't allow for me to edit without it becoming overkill, and there's other areas of my life where I'm like, okay, let me disperse this. Let me put that to the side. Some things have shifted, so now I could bring some things back on my plate, So it's all about ebb and flow. Some seasons you'll be able to do more than others, and I'm learning to be okay with saying I got to table this for right now, so I can focus on these things over here. Work takes all my time, okay? And you missed the first point where I was talking about what was the first point, child? I'm getting drawn a blank. Oh, where majority of Americans have to have a side hustle. So hustle culture ruins your quality of life because we hustle, like we think people are hustling because they want to, but it's like, nah, they have to, like in order to pay their bills. 25% of Americans have a side gig, if not more by now, but 46% of that 25% say they have to in order to survive. So it's like hustling is almost what you have to do in this country. That makes me feel like that about mothering. I get so caught up with cleaning or doing candle stuff on the internet. Right. It's like, let me shut this off and just be intentional. So I'm definitely doing that more. Thankfully, Christian speech therapy has actually helped me be more intentional because those days when he goes to therapy, I'm like, okay, let's go to the park. Let's go get something to eat. Let's do it actually ends up being like mommy Sundays twice a week. So it's a blessing in disguise, what the devil meant for evil, God turned it around for my good. Yes, but I have no one to neglect because no one not no one calls me. I'm gonna start calling you because that's not right. Like you gotta be having somebody calling you, or maybe, do you have a best friend you could call or something like that? Like my phone was dry for a hot minute and now it's slowly picking back up, but now it's like I kind of got used to being a hermit, so now I'm getting back to talking to people and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know, the older you get, like the harder it gets, at least for me, to make those pivots into like, oh, okay, we're going into a new season now, we're doing a new thing, okay, cool. Like, I gotta get revved up first like an old car when I could be spending time with him. Yeah, exactly. It's very, oh, child, girl, you ain't said nothing but a word. It's very lonely down here. Very lonely. I literally am slowly but surely meeting people. But like even on Saturday with that party, hot raggedy mess, child. Like I was thinking, ooh, this is a great like networking opportunity. I'm meeting other parents. They looked me straight in the face. I was like, well, at least Christian's having fun. Napping is my favorite thing. Okay. I was like, why didn't I do this earlier? I was always one of those people that once I'm up, it's hard for me to go to sleep. But now I guess it's the 30s hitting me, mid 30s, but my body's like, okay, we're taking a nap. And I'm just like, man, I feel refreshed. In my 20s, I could not nap. Like, even if I laid down and was like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap, never happened. Like, it absolutely never happened. One thing about me is I'm not doing anything I don't want to do, period. Oh, sorry, I'm still tired. It's okay. Long story short, I found balance. Yes. Okay. No, listen. I told you about that, right, Michelle? Did I tell you the details? Because it was not giving what it was supposed to give. I was like, all right. Like I'm going to head out. Christian has had his fun. Let's go. That's all that really mattered at that point. But hustle culture, last point, hustle culture leaves no room for God to do his thing. So I say the best for last, but hustle culture comes with a tremendous amount of self-reliance and like, I've got to figure this out. I got this. I can figure it out. I just need to work harder. I just need to do this, that, blah, blah, blah. No, you didn't. We didn't. We just talked about the single dad part. Oh yeah. Cause that wasn't giving on Saturday either. I was like, not with these teens and these married fathers. Like, I was like, where are the single daddies at? Like, where y'all at? Because you're not giving right now. I have to tell you about the party and the voice notes because and my friend, she tried. Like, she did. It was phenomenal. Like, great setup, great decorations, all that. But the people just were not the friendliest. And I know that's not her fault. Like, she's amazing, she's awesome, but the guests were just very much on their own. Like, they were just clicked up, doing their own thing. So, and I'm not used to that because the people that I'm friends with generally make everybody feel welcome. Like, I don't really associate with people that can be very cliquish and stuff because I hate cliques. I'm not a cliquish person. I don't care where it's at, whether it's at work, church, family, friends, whatever. It's a grocery store. I don't like cliques. Like, it really irritates me. So I'm the person that's like going around making sure everyone's good in real life, and my friends are like that too. Like, no one's been to a party of mine and felt uncomfortable, even if they didn't know everyone there. Like, my friends are literally the type to be like, hey, how are you? Come sit with us. Tell us about yourself. Like, so I don't know. Don't know, child. But she did great, though. Food was phenomenal. Decorations, great. The kids had a blast. So that's all that matters. Like, that's all that really matters. But yeah, hustle culture is very much self-reliant. I love a good nap too, Alicia. And it's like, when I look back over my life, honestly, when I really sit and meditate and think about it, amazing things have happened, and it was because I had an unwavering assurance that was rooted in my faith that God was going to make a way. Like if I did my part and I let God do the rest, and I had that like mustard seed, unshakable faith, it was going to come to pass. Like it really wasn't on some hustling type stuff. In fact, every season that I hustled, I might have got recognition. I might have had opportunities, but they were short lived and they didn't bear the fruit that I was hoping they would bear. But if I was like focused and intentional, like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, like, whatever. And then I'm going to leave God to do the rest. Like it was way better results, extremely better results. I'm not getting, wait, Yasmin, what are you? I think that was a typo. I don't even want to say it because I think it's a typo. But if you see what I'm talking about, then you'll address it. Yeah, it's right to being friendly. Being friendly is like, I feel like if we were all to host a party, I mean, if like I was to host a party and all y'all were to come, and like some of my friends from real life came and they don't know y'all, then you would welcome them in. Like you guys wouldn't be like, who are you? Like, no, like, I feel like you would all welcome them in, not the grocery stores. I think I'm just too friendly. That happened to me on Friday. Yeah, you were telling me. You got to tell me that church again too. As soon as I stopped talking to you, I forgot the name of it. But it's in the text. But I don't know. You can text it to me again if you feel like it, or I'll just scroll up and stop being lazy. Okay, I thought that's what you. I thought that's what you meant, but I was like, let me not even read this comment and do my good sis like that. That was funny because I know some people don't like watch the video. I know they just listen to it. So I don't want them to be like, "What this conversation?" But facts, though, facts. We're not getting paid, so we're not doing it. But yeah. So every time I had that mustard seed, unshakable faith and assurance, way better, longer lasting opportunities came my way. Like I've gotten opportunities in my life that have taken others double the time to get, and way more years. I've been privy to opportunities and information, and God has literally downloaded information into me that other people the other people had to learn, the hard way, or again, they had to pay to learn it, or whatever the case may be. Like doors have opened for me that I could have never imagined. I've met people that I thought I would never meet. Excuse me, I've been offered to be on TV. I've been featured on the radio twice. I've been on major publications. Like I've literally had all these things happen when I was just when I literally was just faithful. Like, you know what, God, like I'm going to trust you with this. I'm going to do my part again, because faith without works is dead. So I'm not saying just have faith and you say it and it's just gonna come to pass. Like you gotta put in some elbow grease, you gotta work, like you gotta do something. But the difference here between smart hard work, or like a healthy dose of hard work, in my opinion, and toxic hustle culture hard work is that you're not reliant on yourself and you're not neglecting your own well-being or thinking like you got to have it all figured out and all that kind of stuff. Word of faith. Exactly, Alicia. Hey, Sakia. Hey, sis. That's the difference versus like hustle culture is like, I got to figure this out. It's all on me. This, that, the third. But like a healthy sense of hard work is like, okay, this is what I want to do. God, I'm putting this in your hands. I'm trusting you. Guide me in the right direction, whatever. This is a strategy that I'm going to use to get there. But it's balanced. It's like, it's monitored. It's not overkill. It's like, okay, I'm going to, like, for instance, if you want to save, like, let me use me for an example, because with Uber Eats, since it's kind of flexible, the earning potential is limitless. So let's say next week I want to earn $500, and I want to earn that for savings. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to pray about it and be like, God, like, this is my goal for next week. Give me the insight to know where to work, where to deliver orders, whatever the case may be, and just, breathe fresh wind on the tips and stuff like that. But I'm going to have a strategy. Okay, I'm going to work so many hours on Monday, so many hours on Tuesday. I'm going to work in this location, whatever. And then I'm going to show up and I'm going to give it my best effort. I'm going to use discernment and wisdom. And if I make the mark, then great. If I surpassed it, then that's even better. Oh, that's the church, Word of Faith. Okay, got you. Because I was like, yes, but okay, I'm gonna look it up. But if I surpass it, that's great. If I meet it, that's great. And if I don't meet it, well, then I know I gave it my best and God has something better in store. But I'm not going to beat myself up and say, oh, you didn't work hard enough. Next time you got to do this, you got to do that. No, like I have a strategy. I prayed on it. That was my plan. it is what it is. Like I showed up, I gave it my best, and that's that. Like I'm not going to stress myself out or attach my worth, like I said, to my worth to how hard I work or the results that I achieve based on that work. Like we're not doing that. So there's nothing that God can't do for you if you allow enough room for the miraculous, if you allow enough room for God to do what only He can do. Because if you feel like it's all up to you, that's already a part, because we're minute, we're finite. Like I can only do so much in a 24-hour period. God could do so much more in a 1 hour period than I could do in 1 year. Like, so just like, why am I doing the most? Like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna work, I'm gonna have strategy and stuff, but I'm gonna be balanced. I'm gonna make sure I prioritize what needs to be prioritized. Like my son comes first, family first, my health, making sure I eat at the right times and things like that. Like I'm not gonna sacrifice that all for hustle culture. Like go to sleep. Hustle culture says you don't need to sleep. Go to sleep, sis. Get those 7 to 9 hours. Drink your water. Before you go to bed, when you wake up, drink your water. Go ahead and clock out. Or if you work for yourself, stop working and go to the gym. Like it's okay. Put that to-do list down. You don't have to do any more work tonight. Watch a Disney movie. Turn on Disney Plus. Watch some Netflix. Call a friend. Laugh a little bit. When's the last time you really laughed? Have you laughed today? Like honestly, if you haven't laughed, turn off the TV, turn off the computer after this video, and then call a friend and laugh. Turn on a comedy and laugh. Like you don't have to hustle and grind your life away. Like no, that's not it at all. Not it at all. And then, like I said in the beginning, a lot of people are hustling and going nowhere, like they're on a hamster wheel. So it's better to have focused, like strategic effort than to just hustle, 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 hustle. Like you're not going anywhere with that. So trust me, my opportunities, like I said, when I really sit and think about it, have really come when I let God do Him and I didn't hustle my way into everything and feel like I got to get it all figured out. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. The publications I've been featured in, the radio show, and all those companies and stuff like that have reached out. That's just the tip of the iceberg because I'm just getting started. Like I've only been in this game since the end of 2019. So, like I'm still a baby in the game. Most people don't see some of those opportunities that I've seen already until like year 5, 6, or 7 in the content game. And I've been blessed to see it within year 1. So, and 2, because now I'm in the middle of year 3. So I've been blessed to see it in year 1 and 2. And I'm just getting started. Like more doors are going to open. God's going to give me more influence, more affluence, more blessings. And I know it wholeheartedly. You can't tell me otherwise. Like it's going to happen, And so I don't need to hustle to get it. Like I just need to be obedient to Him. I need to trust Him. And I need to make sure that I'm diligent in my work, but not hustling. Like there's a difference. Laugh, y'all. Like laugh. Take a nap. Go to bed. Go to bed early. Okay. Whatever you plan to do tonight, don't do it. Like, I mean, obviously, like feed your family, talk to your spouse if you got a spouse or whatever, like, do those things, but go to bed, laugh, watch a show, enjoy life. Like there's so much to life than just work, goals, goals, goals. Like, because you're going to accomplish that goal and then you're not going to be satisfied and then you're going to set another goal. So, like it's not worth it. Right. If it's yours, it's yours. Like you ain't got to do all that. So I encourage you guys to all just trust God more with whatever your goals are. Like I've been saying, work hard. Don't take this message as, oh, I ain't got to do nothing. Like, no, you got to work. You got to work, boo-boo, okay? Like none of us are heirs to multi-millions of dollars that our parents have left us. Unless y'all are and you just haven't shared the good news with me, your good sis. But as far as I know, ain't none of us got no millions of dollars of an inheritance from our parents. So we got to work, okay? We got to work. But you ain't got to work yourself to the bone. You ain't got to work yourself until you broke, busted, and disgusted. Or like I said, you're looking like who shot John. Like you ain't got to work yourself to that point, but you do got to work though, and have goals, have a strategy. But God, again, like I said, can do so much more with a mustard seed of faith, like just honest, pure, assured faith than you could ever do in your whole life. Like honestly, so. Yeah, we don't need to hustle. That's the bottom line. That's that. That's it. If it's mine, it's mine. Yes. Okay. I plan to apply for jobs. Okay. Well, since you're looking to relocate, go ahead and apply to a few jobs. Like I'll give you permission to apply to 3. But because job applications are a job in and of itself, I'm stressed out already just when you saying that. Like, because I remember when I was doing that. So apply to 3 and then just say whatever. Like, I'll do the rest tomorrow or whatever. Like, because I know you be in bed early too. So That's that, y'all. But that's all I have for you. So real quick, I'll just run over the points again real quick. Hustle culture. Point number one was hustle culture lessens your quality of life by feeding you the lie that you have to have a better quality of that you will have, sorry, a better quality of life if you just keep working hard. Hustle culture is a breeding ground for discontentment. Hustle culture is rooted in faster gratification, and it also leaves no room for God to do his thing. So that's it, y'all. That is it. Mustard seed faith. That's all we need, y'all. Listen, I'm on fire after Sunday. Like, down. It was. I'm gonna go ahead and say it here because half y'all ain't gonna go TikTok anyway on the replay. So, long story short, on Sunday I went to church and right, shut it down, Yasmin. We not doing nothing tonight. Shut it down. This is our night to kick back, you know. But Sunday at church, it was very emotional, but in a good way because before the pastor went up to preach, he was like doing the, you know, the prayer that they always do, like right after offering, but before the sermon or whatever. So he was like, I feel Holy Spirit telling us to pray for each other. So reach out and grab the hand or the shoulder or the arm or whatever of someone standing next to you or near you and start praying for them. So I saw a woman on my peripheral behind me. And so I reached back like this because she was in the row right behind me, and I hold her hand and start praying. And so I'm praying for her, covering her in prayer for any obstacles her way, that God will answer her prayers and the desires of our heart according to his will and this and that. And then this should be a podcast episode. Oh, trust me, it will be. Like, I'm gonna start a podcast. I can't tell y'all when, but I know I'm gonna start one. I want to. It's been on my mind for a while. So just keep me in prayer for that and stay tuned. We gonna get it together though. And so as I'm praying for her, she starts praying for me in tongues. Like at first she was, you know, speaking regular, and then she starts breaking out into tongues or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, God, like whatever she's praying, just let it come to pass according to your will and this and that. You know, we're just affirming each other. Like I could feel the spirit moving between us, like transferring, you know. And so then as I'm praying and she's still praying in tongues, she comes around and stands next to me in my row because I was right at the end. And she like gives me a half hug. So we're like ear to ear like this, like her mouth is to my ear and my mouth is to her ear, and we're like this. And so she's just like, you know, God is telling me that you've been faithful, your prayers are heard. You know, you've been feeling like you're overlooked, you've been feeling unseen, you've been struggling to believe in this or that, and he wanted me to tell you that your season of faithfulness is going to be rewarded. The years that the canker worm have stolen are going to be restored to you, and this and that. Like she's just going in, right? And she's not saying like ambiguous stuff like, oh, God heard your prayers and he's going to bless you abundantly. Like, duh, he's going to bless me, he's God, you know. Like she was saying specific stuff, y'all, like to the point where I was like, do you have a camera in my house? Have you been in my room when I'm praying to God? Because it's stuff that, oh, thanks, Yasmin, I appreciate that, y'all. But she was saying stuff where I was like, girl, and I never seen her before. Like, cause I go to Bible study on Wednesdays, and this was my second Sunday there. Sundays is harder to see people because it's a pretty small church still, but it be packed, you know. So you're not gonna catch everybody depending on where you're sitting. But Wednesdays, you would see people, and she's on the serving team because she had on the shirt. So I'm like, I've never seen you before. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for her because I was like, this is crazy. So she starts affirming things, specific things, like word for word what I've said in prayer. She's saying, never talked to this woman before, never seen her day in my life. And she's like, and God said he's going to grant this. And God said, be patient for that. And to loosen the reins on this. And you're raising your son right. And, you know, he's on your heart and your mind all the time. And you question if you're doing it right. And I mean, like literally everything, right? So Christian's holding my hand. I'm holding his hand on this side like this. And he's praying. He got his hands up saying his little prayer, whatever. And I'm holding her hand with my right hand. And she's got me in a hug or whatever. And so I'm just like shaking my head like, wow, this is crazy. Like, you know, all this stuff or whatever. And then she reaches the point, which I'm not going to say on the World Wide Web, but just know it's a prayer of mine that's been a prayer for many years. And I have reached the point where I'm just like, okay, God, like if it doesn't come to pass, you're still faithful. You're still good. I'm never going to doubt you. I'm never going to turn my back on you. It's okay if it's not for me. Like, it's okay if this thing that I want and this, you know, whatever I envision for my life never comes to pass. You're still awesome. And she affirmed that it's going to happen. Y'all, when I tell you, when she affirmed that, I busted out in tears. And this Sunday I wore makeup. Last Sunday I was like, I'm not even gonna wear makeup. We already run a little late. I'll just go barefaced. Because one thing about me is I don't mind showing up all natural. Like I'm cool with no makeup on, Just give me a wig and a cute outfit, we good. But this Sunday I had time, so I was like, "Ooh, let me beat my face or whatever." It was already hot, so I don't even know why I did that. But I did a cute little summer beat. But I might as well have not because my face was on her shirt, and she was wearing a black shirt, but you could see my whole makeup like on her face because I was just bawling. Like it's that word of knowledge is no joke. Like y'all, and I've been in her shoes with other people where I'm like, oh, you've been struggling with this, you've been struggling with that, and God says da da da. Like that's why if you guys don't watch Obedience Shay, also known as Obedience Podcast on YouTube, first of all, subscribe to her channel and watch it because it's amazing. Two, I was on her show a couple of weeks ago when she was breaking down the gifts, and I spoke on the word of knowledge because that is a gift I have, but. I've never been the one to receive that in that way. Like I'm usually the one doing that for other people. So to receive that, I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. Like, it really makes you realize that you serve a living God. Like, God is real. God is real and he actually listens and he hears and he knows. Like, he cares. And so I'm bawling, boo-hoo, crying, not a cute thing about it. I'm talking lashes coming off, snot coming out my nose. The woman with the tissues wasn't even near me. I'm kind of like looking while I'm crying. I'm like, I need a tissue. I'm sweating. It's hot, because the church has like a metal roof because it's an old industrial building that they turned into a church. And like I said, it's been like in the 90s, almost 100 degrees for the last week, just about now. So the church was hot. And I'm just like, okay, I need a tissue. Where's she at? I'm crying. This is great. It's amazing. And so she's like, can I just hug you right now? So then she gives me the double arm bear hug. Lost it again. And so then we stopped hugging. Pastor's like, okay, I want to preach, but before I preach, I want all the entrepreneurs to come up to the stage so I can anoint you guys. So he's getting the oil out. He's like, everyone come up. So it was about like 60 or 70 of us walking to the stage. And he literally anointed all of us, held us, prayed for us and everything. It took over an hour for him to get through everybody because he took his time. He didn't rush through. Some people he took even longer because as he was praying for them, he was like, okay, I feel Holy Spirit telling me this. Did you start this kind of business? Are you struggling with this or that? And it was like on point. Like people were affirming him, like, yes, I've been struggling with this, or like anything he said, they were like, oh my goodness, like, yes, I have been struggling with that, or wow, I am starting this kind of business, or whatever. And so then he gets to me because y'all, it was like me and this other woman at the end. And so I guess the woman near me was like, dang, is he gonna anoint and pray for me? Like, stand up here for an hour. I was like, look, at this point, even if you don't touch me, I don't already have my encounter, so I'm good. Like, but I would like my prayer, but if you don't get to me, like, it's cool. Like, just let me know if I gotta wait till after the sermon, whatever. And so he gets to me and he's just like, he touches my head, prays for me, and he's just like, wow, like I see more confidence. Like, wow, yeah, girl, you got this. He was like, you about to walk into that. Like, you're walking into that season. And he starts affirming what the other lady said when she was praying over me. Then Christian had followed me up to the altar because he saw me get out the road. So next thing you know, he's behind me. So he was up there with me for the whole hour. He prays for Christian and anoints him. He was like, you're very strong. You're a strong young man, and this, that, the third, whatever. And so it was a very powerful Sunday, but it was like God, like the presence of God, the Holy Spirit was all up and through there, like affirmation after affirmation after affirmation, confirmation, all those things. And it was just like, wow, okay. Like, sometimes this is why the Bible says, like, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Because even though not everybody testified on Sunday, I mean, some people did through the prayer, whatever. When you get those testimony moments or those word of knowledge moments and stuff like that, or a word of wisdom, it really is affirming because it's like, this isn't all in vain. Like, we're human. We don't know the future. Like, we don't know again. We know God is great. We know God is real. We know he's done miracles before. We know all these things. But sometimes you're just in like a wilderness season where you're like, I'm being faithful. I'm praying. I'm fasting. I'm reading. I'm toiling. I'm trying to stay encouraged. Like, when is my breakthrough coming? Okay, I'm doing all of the things and I'm just here. Like, when is it going to just elevate, or I'm gonna see like the fruit of my labor or something? And so when you get that, it's like, okay, I'm on the right track. I just got to keep going. Like, we're getting to the destination. I just got to keep going. Just when you feel like I think this is it. Like, I think it's time for me to pack up shop and pull in my nets because I'm not going to catch any more fish. It's like, nope, there's still more fish to catch. Like, just when, oh my gosh, y'all, just like when Jesus stepped on Peter's boat. I believe it was Peter, right? Don't come for me if I'm talking about one disciple, but I believe it was Peter when he was like out fishing all night. And Jesus was like, oh, put out your nets. And he's like, we've been like, I can only imagine him in that moment. Like, look, I'm a skilled fisherman. I've been out here all night. I ain't catch no fish. Like, what are you talking about? Who are you, first of all? Why are you on my boat? Why are you talking about put out my net? I know what I'm doing and it's not working. And Jesus is like, no, like put out your net. And so he puts out his net and then he gets all the fish in that moment. It's like, whoa, like that is what God could do. So you ain't got to hustle. Look at God just bringing random examples. Okay, Peter was hustling. Okay, thank you, Bible scholars, because y'all know I be getting confused with all the apostles and the disciples and stuff like that. But it's like Peter was hustling all night, didn't catch not one lick of fish. And Jesus came and stepped on the boat and boom, surplus of fish. Right when Peter said it's done, time for me to pull in the nets, time for me to wash up, shop, sail off, dock the boat, go home. Jesus is like, not yet. Put the nets back out. I got you. So it's like, that's exactly why we don't need to hustle. And that's exactly why you need that mustard seed faith, and you need to submit your plans to God because he sees you. He hears you. He knows your heart. He knows you've been crying out for this thing. He knows you've been waiting for it. He knows you're about to pull in your net. And he's saying, no, keep your net out. Like you're going to catch your fish. And so Sunday was what I needed. So I literally was crying like all day Sunday. Because even after I left church, my mom and sister were like, what happened? Because they didn't go to the altar because my mom can't really see. Like she's blind, basically legally blind at this point, and she lost hearing in one ear. So the church sanctuary, you know how it be dark and stuff. So when it comes to stuff like that, we don't really take her up to the front because the loudness of the drums and stuff will affect her hearing even more. And we just don't want her to stumble on anybody or anything like that because, people be like kneeling at the altar and all that. So my sister will usually stay with her while I go up and kind of like cover us on behalf of prayer. Unless it's like a midweek or like a Friday night service, then my mom will go up. But Sundays, because the aisles are narrow and stuff, we're like, nah, we're not going to risk it because we don't need you getting hurt. And so they couldn't see everything that happened because my mom can't see that far up anyway. And my sister was trying to see over like people because they were standing up, hands raised and all that. And they were like, what happened? So I'm in the car telling them I'm crying again. I drop them home, go out to handle some stuff. I'm playing my worship music, crying again. Like, I was like, God, you hear me. You see me. Like, you really hear me. You really listen to me. And it was just really nice to know that it's like, it's coming. I don't know when. And honestly, I don't care because it's like, even if it takes another 5-10 years, I know it's coming. Like, I'm good. I just needed that reassurance to know that my faithfulness is not in vain, because it can really suck sometimes when you see people out there and you're like, they don't even give a lick about God and they just success, answered, desires or whatever. And you just like, dang God, like what's going on? But nah, stay faithful, y'all. Stay faithful. So like I said, I did a TikTok on it, but I was like, let me go ahead and just share it here because I know y'all ain't finna go to my TikTok, but it's all good though. Yasmin's already on it though, and so is Alexis. That's a word. Listen, okay, he sees you. It's coming. Like, I pray that y'all are getting the impartation of this excitement right now, because I'm like, you can't tell me nothing right now. Like, I know it's coming. I know my faithfulness is not for nothing. And it's not that I was being faithful to get things from God, because either way, I take all of this seriously. And I know that I'm like a mentor for a lot of the women and people in general that watch my channel or come across my TikTok and my Instagram and stuff. So I take it seriously because I'm like, a lot of people kind of look up to me as like that big sis in Christ or whatever, or just for knowledge or whatever. And a lot of people that watch and follow me are either extremely babes in Christ or they're like curious, they're not quite sure. So I'm really at like the gate of a lot of people's faith walk, and them watching me really helps in their determination of like how hard they go with Christ. And while it's not my responsibility to save someone, that's why Jesus already died on the cross, I also have a role to play in how I carry myself and whatnot. So, I take it very seriously. So even if I didn't get that experience on Sunday, I would still stay faithful. I would still keep serving because I know that I have a purpose on here. Like, everything I'm doing is for a purpose and it's really impacting lives. But that just set me, like, I was already cool on cloud 9, but that sent me to like cloud 1000. Like, you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Like, you know how crazy it is to have a complete stranger whisper everything that you said in prayer in your ear, word for word. Like, that is nothing but God. That is nothing but God. This is inspiring. I just had to pray, but I needed to come quick. Alicia, then we just talk about self and not self, fast gratification and one of the points. Mm-mm-mm. But y'all, I hope y'all don't mind when I take a sip because cotton mouth is not cute. But yeah, y'all, I had to share that. Like, whew. And I already was planning on like doing certain things this week and stuff. So it just set the week off to like a spiritual, like an even greater spiritual high. So y'all stay faithful. Don't hustle your way to nothing. Like, God's got you. He hears your prayers. He sees you. And everything that you lost is going to be restored. Period. Period. Okay. So that's all I have for y'all, though. I'm about to skedaddle because I got to eat and do some other stuff. So, but I'm going to chill tonight for real, y'all. Like, I'm chilling. I hope y'all chill too. Like, we're not hustling tonight. We can get back to the hustle on Thursday. Give yourself 2 nights. Give yourself tonight and tomorrow night to just relax. And then you can hustle. We're not hustling for real. We're living our let's live a soft life. You know how everyone's saying a soft life, right? Ain't nobody got time for cotton mouth. And you're welcome. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. It's not cute in the least bit, sis. But we're living our best soft lives out here. Okay, we're not about to be out here pounding the pavement. Like, those days are gone. Okay, so we chilling. Yes, come on, house hunters and pumpkin seeds. Yes, come on. I gotta leave Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta is hustle capital. Okay, if you like the hustle, come to Atlanta. If you want to live your best soft life, don't come here because it's not gonna happen, sis. It's not, or bro, whoever's watching me. But we live in our soft lives. Let God get the glory. Let him get the testimony for what only he could do. And then you can be like, that was nothing but God. Like, to God be the glory, because that was not me, you know? So that is a testimony right there. Where you're like, I didn't even do that. Like, God opened that door. God brought that opportunity. I don't even know how they found out about me. I don't even know how they found my YouTube channel. Like, you know, whatever. So that's it, y'all. I hope y'all have a good, I love house hunters too. Will call me. Yes. I'm gonna call you. Let me get Christian in the bed and then I'm gonna call you. Mom. Well, you probably be asleep because you go to bed early. I'm gonna text you first. When I get him in the bed, I'll text you first and see if you're still awake or willing to talk. But because you know he gonna hop on the phone once he sees me talking. He gonna be like, "Hey," and it's like, "No, go to bed." But yeah, y'all. So the soft life. Look, I know this word irritates you. Your feminine energy. Live your best feminine energy life. I had to end on that note because I know that word irritates you. I know you'd be like, they say feminine energy one more time. But no, I'm really trying to rest in my feminine energy. Real talk though. But again, another live for another day. So y'all join me on Thursday. I'm gonna be talking about how you should celebrate, or not should, but how could you celebrate Juneteenth, because we know it. This is the second year I think it's an official federal holiday. So I'm gonna be sharing some cool facts with you, some ways you can celebrate. You know, and then I'm also going to talk about why you should support Black businesses for Juneteenth, because what we're not going to do is Cinco de Mayo Juneteenth. We're not about to do that. Okay, we're not about to appropriate the holiday. We're not about to be out here just commercializing it from now till kingdom comes. So make sure you tune in 9 p.m. Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Invite some friends, and that will be that. So love y'all. And I will see you guys on Thursday night. Thanks for joining. Bye.